Okay. All right. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time to join me today. This is Baron Victor. I'm the product manager for Next Generation Sequencing Products here at Lambda. The purpose of today's commercial webinar is simply to discuss our soon-to-be released CE marked AllType NGS assay and TypeStream visual software. No, it's not working. Okay. So the topics I plan to cover over the next 20 to 30 minutes will include, first of all, what is CE marking? I'll provide a brief description of the new products. We'll review the ordering and shipping information that is specific to these new CE marked products. We'll discuss a few updates to important documents. And lastly, we'll spend some time to provide you a little bit of a status update for our NextType NGS reagents and our older TypeStream plugin software. So first of all, what is CE marking? So at the most basic level, a CE marking is a registered symbol which is used to show that a product complies with the European Directive 9879 CE. Now, the European Directive holds requirements for all in vitro diagnostic medical devices for products involving HLA, and that includes both HLA typing products and several associated antibody products. Now, specifically, the directive holds manufacturers such as Lambda and Thermo Fisher Scientific. It holds us accountable to conforming to a certain set of requirements that govern the manufacturing and the quality of diagnostic products. These in vitro diagnostic requirements have further turned into legal laws in members of EEA member states, which includes both the European Union and several other countries across Europe. So, of course, we're here to talk about the long-anticipated availability of the CE marked AllType NGS workflow. And the good news is that although our AllType 11 loci amplification kit is currently RUO, so as of today it's still research use only, we are expecting very soon to receive notification that our workflow now conforms to the European Directive and is now CE mark certified for use as an in vitro diagnostic device. Now, the important take-home message from my presentation today is this. One, the product is currently not yet CE marked. Okay, it's still RUO. And the second thing is you will be informed and you'll know when the product is CE marked as soon as we can because we will be providing you with a formal notification directly from the Lambda marketing department. Now, for purposes of transparency, the latest notification we received from our European notified body was that we should be hearing something by the end of April. Well, the end of April was on Monday, so we are currently still awaiting that formal notification that CE marking has been awarded, but we do believe very strongly that CE marking is imminent and could happen any day now, potentially even by the end of this week. Now, our CE marked workflow will also include the CE marking for our TypeStream visual NGS analysis software. Now, please note the software is also still only RUO at this time for research use only, but we do expect to co-release TypeStream visual alongside the release of the AllType 11 loci amplification kit as soon as we receive that formal notification from our notified body. As previously mentioned, please do await from that formal notification from the Lambda marketing team. We will certainly let you know as soon as possible once that certification has been received. So finally, we're finally moving away from a research use only workflow, right? And we're commercializing a CE marked NGS workflow. Now, to be more specific, two of these products will physically be CE marked. And so that's the AllType long-range PCR kit and the TypeStream visual software. The product inserts, or the protocol that represent the CE marked AllType kit, it will also contain all of the components used to carry out the entire protocol, or the entire workflow. And I just want to say that simply to make you aware that while this kit is CE marked for in vitro diagnostic use, the workflow and the product insert will contain several minor RUO components as part of the workflow. Okay, so we're going to switch topics now to ordering information. So here we're going to briefly review ordering and shipping details for each of these new products. So as you may have guessed, the ordering and shipping requirements for the CE Mark version is going to be very similar or identical to the RUO version of the same product. Now, the CE Mark AllType kit will have a unique catalog ID number. Okay, so that's now ALL-11L. We have removed the X off of the end of the catalog number. That X previously designated an RUO component. Okay, this product will exist as a separate product that's separate from the RUO kit. It will therefore, of course, be labeled differently, and it will be inventoried separately from the RUO product. Okay, so I'll repeat that just to be really clear. We will have an RUO kit and an identical CE kit. Each one of them will have a unique catalog number, and the CE kit will be inventoried separately from the RUO component. Okay, so we'll have two different inventories, one for RUO and one for CE IVD. Now, just like the RUO version of this product will be shipped frozen on dry ice and stored at negative 20 degrees centigrade. We're also going to be creating and providing you with a new sales bomb, or a virtual SKU, to say, the AllType NGS 11 low-size sample prep flex kit. Now, you may remember we've already created one of these. The catalog number for the old one is ALL Prep 11LFX. The difference between that kit and this component is that this kit will actually contain the AllType CE Mark kit. Okay. Now, this is very important. The AllPrep 11LF kit does not carry a regulatory designation. Okay, it's just a virtual SKU to allow for easier ordering of products. These kits, the CE IVD with the RUO components, do not come packaged together. Okay, and it just allows for easier ordering from the customer or from our channel partner. All of these components are shipped frozen on dry ice and should be stored at negative 20 degrees centigrade. Now, both of these new catalog ID numbers will become active as soon as we receive notification on CE marking and as soon as we provide you with notification of product launch. Now, the new CE Mark typing visual software will also be receiving a new catalog ID number. So the new catalog ID number is TSV-PGR, again, with the X removed from the end of the catalog number. Okay? This new software will be labeled and CE marked for in vitro diagnostic use in the European Union and other EEA member states. And it will be for research use only in the United States and Canada. And this product will also be available upon notification of our official launch. Now, one other thing just to notice, clearly with this new product having a catalog number and having a regulatory designation that's different depending on country, we really have no need to have the previous catalog number, TSV-PGR-X. Okay, so we do have a plan to discontinue the older catalog number. And that's basically for RUO only in US and Canada. Okay, so this will replace the older. Okay, so updates to important documents. The CE Mark AllType workflow will consist of one unified product insert. And that includes protocols for both the Ion S5 and Chef systems and the aluminum MySeq systems. Okay? So that means we will no longer be providing two different protocol guides that's based on the customer's instruments. We will also have a new product insert for the CE Mark version of Texture and Visual software. Now, just to be clear, this image that I have on the screen here is for the RUO version. I don't have an image of the new one yet, but we will have a very unique product insert for TSV-PGR. Okay? And both of these product inserts will become available for download online at our website at onelambda.com, and it will require a login as a registered user. We've also updated the NGS product reference document, which contains detailed information on all of the NGS products in the One Lambda portfolio. In the latest version, which is version 3, okay, We've updated this document by removing all of the previously discontinued products, such as the Ion PGM and its associated consumables. We've also removed any Agilent tape station consumables or instruments or manual IA components. We've also added all of the new soon-to-be-released CE-IVD marked products, such as AllType, the CE-IVD, the new virtual SKU for the AllPrep sample prep flex kit, and of course the TypeStream visual software. Now this NGS product reference document is available for download and master control for all One Lambda Thermo Fisher employees. They simply need to search for document number NXT0017. And the same document, as has been done previously, will be provided after launch via eBlast to our channel partners. Now, I would ask you, and please remember that this document is meant to be used for the purposes of internal reference only and should not be shared with customers. Okay, and that's literally written on the bottom of every page of the document. Now, lastly, I wanted to share an update with you regarding the status of our NextType NGS reagents. Now, anytime we release a new product that overlaps with existing products, we always make efforts to trend the existing products for the level of sustained customer interest. And so that might include understanding the number of product demonstrations or product requests that we get, how many sales inquiries we're getting on a certain product, and really more importantly, sales numbers and the number of units that are being shipped out to customers on a global level and also on a regional level. And the trend line for the NextType NGS product lines is actually quite telling. It's pretty strong, as you'll see here, especially in context of the recent release of the AllType NGS assay with its 11 loci multiplex. You'll notice that right here, our highest level of NextType activity in terms of kits being shipped to customers was at the end of the year 2016. Now, what's important is that this actually included One Lambda's material support of the 2017 International HLA Workshop. NextType consumption then, it started to stabilize, okay, up until our official release of the AllType workflow in July of 2017, at which time this happened. So this purple line that you're seeing here represents the sales for AllType. And as you can see here, sales for AllType has absolutely skyrocketed. And at the same time, NextType sales, including customer interest, has really significantly decreased. In fact, only a total of 5 NextType kits were sold in the first quarter of 2018. And that's a ratio of nearly 1 to 50 ratio of NextType to AllType, meaning that for every 1 NextType kit sold, we've sold nearly 50 AllType kits. Okay, so that's a very strong measure to look at. Now, for this reason, you should be aware that One Lambda is actively considering the future discontinuation of the NextType product line. Okay, and this is currently only supported by the Ion S5 and Chef workflow. The primary drivers or the primary reasons for this consideration are related to the lack of customer interest and the overall deterioration of sales globally. Okay, a large decreasing number of sales all over the world in favor of AllType. We also have future plans to discontinue our TypeStream plugin software, which, as you know, only supports the Ion Swarm workflow, and it also has an inferior genotyping algorithm to our more modern and our more flexible TypeStream visual software. In the long run, these actions are going to help One Lambda to focus our resources, including our developmental efforts towards bringing continued improvements to our flagship AllType NGS workflow. And needless to say, AllType, or NextType, the portfolio for NextType is not a product line that you should be actively promoting. In fact, we would ask you to focus on 100% of your efforts towards promoting the AllType NGS workflow. Okay? Once the final decision has been made in regards to NextType, the One Lambda marketing department will provide you with the appropriate notification. And lastly, due to the reason that we covered on the previous slide, Okay, we've actually demoted or we've removed any type of promotion of NextType from the LATMEA website. More specifically, we've removed NextType NGS reagents from our promotional NGS landing page. So this is a page where when we send out a promotional e-blast, if a customer clicks on the hyperlink, they go straight to this page. We've removed any mention of NextType from that page. We've also removed NextType NGS reagents from the drop-down list on the products menu. So if you go there, you will no longer see an easy way for basic navigation to the NextType NGS product page. Okay? In order to locate the NextType product page, it does still exist. You simply need to type the word NextType into the site search field on the upper right-hand corner of our website. Okay? That will pull up the page for NextType product page, its ancillary product pages, as well as giving you access to any NextType or lot-specific documents related to NextType. And with that, I believe that concludes our short training session today. I'll go ahead and open up the lines and unmute everybody to take any questions that you may have. Give me one moment. Okay. Do you have any questions? Yes, I can, absolutely. That's a very good question. I know you guys are asking for a CE mark so that you could, check off the box for tenders that we have a CE mark product. Right. So it's only natural that you're going to ask for the rest of all the products to be CE marked. So the short answer is we would have to go through an entirely new submission process to mark those other components. Let me jump real quick back to that slide, and let's see here, and we can actually talk about the individual components. Okay, how about this slide? Okay, so as you know, there are actually 3 components or 4 boxes that are unique. Right, you have the AllType amplification kit, which is now CE-IVD marked. The Index Flex kit was not part of our submission process. Okay, so we actually did not submit that for CE marking. That doesn't mean that that won't happen in the future. We just have not done that for sake of time at this point in time. The other 2 components, Ali, the Shear kit and the Fragment Library kit, these are kits that we are actively looking at reconfiguring. Okay, and we're going to reconfigure it as an AllType library prep kit that is going to remove close to 40% waste. It's going to have a much better user experience. And we didn't want to take these products through the CE-IVD process only to change and remove that product from market. Okay. So at this point in time, the Sample Prep Flex Kit can be ordered to allow for easier ordering, but the other components will be individually labeled as RUO because that's all they are at this point in time. Does that answer your question? Well, no. Let me back up a little bit, Ali. So you are, because the AllType amplification kit. Okay, so I think I understand what you're saying. The AllType amplification kit has been CE marked for use on the aluminum IC using these reagents. Okay. Does that help? So this let me go up. Okay, so a couple things, Ali. You can, so first of all, you can order all of those components individually. Okay. you can order the AllType 11 low-flow amplification kit, this ALL-11L. That's your CE mark kit. You can buy any of the other components that you need to run the workflow individually. You don't have to order it by ordering the sample PrepFlex kit. Okay. The sample PrepFlex kit is a virtual SKU. It does not have a regulatory designation on it at all. All it is allowing you to make your ordering process easier. You can easily order these individually. But this product insert, which is CE marked, okay, for diagnostic use, using this component and using this workflow as defined in the product insert, has been reviewed and, or once we have notification, is used for diagnostic use in Europe. Please. Please. Thanks for additional information, Chris. That sounds good. Surely we have some other questions. Right. Yes. Thanks, Henry. A good question. And the nice answer to this are that the CE mark components are actually manufactured at Willanda. So we manufacture the AllType kit. We manufacture the the software. So there is no CP number tied into that. We don't bring those in from an outside source. Does that help answer? Correct. Just like LATMEA or lab screen. That's correct. Yep. Yep. So I can't tell you that just yet. I think I mentioned that several times throughout the presentation that we are pending notification. So we believe very strongly that we should be receiving notification from our European notified body that we have been awarded the certificate for CE mark for these two products. Okay. As soon as we receive that notification, we will send out a product notification announcing the launch to our global commercial team. So everybody that's on this call and others will receive that notification. The moment you receive that notification, those products will become available for sale. Okay. Yes. That's a good question. My understanding is we've done this historically. If you were to sell a CE-IVD that says for in vitro diagnostic use for European Union only, this is a regulatory reason for this. My understanding is that you want to eliminate any chance of confusion that someone in the U.S. would believe it's a diagnostic device by not reading the entire regulatory statement. Yeah. In the long run, Allie, once we take this through 510K, which, that's a roadmap that we haven't even drawn out yet, but once we get there, and we do have an FDA cleared 510K device, I see both of these basically discontinuing the RUO device and having one unified SKU, just like we do for LATMEA or any of our other diagnostic devices. Yeah, it's a good question though. I've had that question several times. Hi, Kurt. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned on this slide here, we do have plans to discontinue the plugin. It is a one workflow type of solution. It's got a dated typing algorithm. It's not as advanced as our text and visual software. But you're right, Kurt. We have a number of customers. Some of them are sizable customers who continue to utilize the plugin, namely for the auto analysis feature, right? And so as of today, with our released 1.1 version of text and visual, we do not have the auto analysis feature built into the software. Now, we have already fully developed the auto analysis feature, and we're at the last stages of figuring out if we're going to have that rolled into this text and visual release. Okay, so what that could mean is when we release this TypeStream CE Mark version, it could be a version 1.2, right, which would have the auto analysis feature. Once we enable our customers to give them really no reason not to transition to the newer software, we will begin formal notification of our customer base that we have a plan to discontinue the software to gently encourage our customers to validate the newer text and visual software. And that would be TSV PGR, right, the latest version. We will give them a transition plan. I don't think we'll go any longer than 6 months, but I would like to give everybody at least 6 months. So we may be looking at 3 to 6 months, but in my opinion, probably by the end of this year, we'd like to fully discontinue the plugin. Now, in terms of dates, we do not have an actual solid date yet because we're going through those final phases of reviewing the recommendations for discontinuation with our senior leadership team. Okay, and those discussions are actively taking place now. So we should have an idea what this is going to look like probably within the next couple of weeks. And once we have dates identified, we'll begin that communication with our commercial organization, followed by a communication with the customer base. Does that kind of answer your question, Kurt? Okay. We have any other questions from the audience? No? Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, everyone, I just want to thank everybody very much for joining. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. We have recorded this session, and we will make these sessions available for download if you want to watch this or pass it along to any of your coworkers. Additionally, if you have any questions that you forgot to ask during the session, please feel free to email me at baron.victor@thermofisher.com. My email address is attached to the meeting invitation. And thank you for your time, and have a great week. Thank you, guys. Thanks.